What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kryptonite, because I believe that cryptocurrency and the blockchain are the kryptonite of our modern financial system, and I love it. Here's to the blockchain, baby. Guys, there was a nice move today on Bitcoin, and I don't want to say I predicted it. I just want to say that I had kind of the idea of this. And also, by the way, I'm in a live trade, and I actually just lost a trade literally 5 seconds after. But it's good though too, because I was actually in two trades at the same time. I was in a smaller term short that I just lost, but that's good because I'm in a longer term long. So yes, I lost money on this I tried to short within the long, but the long is actually looking pretty good. So in fact, I'll save that for later. I'll make you guys wait in the video to go to the end, where then you see what happens with my trades. So we are here on the monthly chart, as you can see, making somewhat of a bear channel. I don't really have it. Well, I mean, kind of have it on there, but anyway, we're making kind of this channel here between these two lines. And it honestly could be this way for a while. This is typically in the bear market, you get these kind of just long, boring stretches of consolidation. And this is kind of the precursor. It's the calm before the storm, guys, because the storm is coming. And honestly, when it comes to Bitcoin, we just need time. It's all about time. It's all about when is the next halving? How long till we get there? How long do we have to wait? Right? And that's all this is. This is the psychology of people best waiting. We're just waiting. We're waiting for the halving. When's the halving coming? When's the halving coming, right? And again, we still have, according to the cycles, we'll bottom in November. We'll then start to make a very slow uptrend past then until the next halving. So fasten your seatbelts, or I guess you could also take off your seatbelt, just because again, you're not really going at any sort of speeds that are going to get you killed. So I guess the term "put your seatbelts on" isn't really adequate here. It's more like take your seatbelts off, relax, kick up your feet, because we're just going to be chilling for a while before we do things. But anyway, this candle here just started. It's only we got 24 days left on it. Right here at look at where this is at. Right at the bottom of basically all three of these candle closes on the monthly, right at the top of this candle close here, and then right at the top of our previous all-time high. So this is literally we're kind of hanging from a knife's edge right now, to be honest. If this breaks, then like I said, I think we're going to go to 14. I think we'll hit this top of this high here, which also is the top of this candle close as well, and coincides perfectly with the closes of these monthly candles. So I think 14 to me would be a perfect level, because we have tons of support there on all those monthly candles. And from a percentage standpoint, that would be 80%, which would make a lot of sense because we dropped 85% and then 83%. And I'm talking about the previous bear markets. So, it's not going to, these are going to decrease over time. It's not going to drop as much each time. So I think this is perfect. This is 80%. It's a little higher than our last bear market. It's literally at the tops of multiple supports, candle closes. 14K, guys, I think, actually, the exact number for this would be about 13,741. But this would be my absolute bottom price. I'd probably be going all in. I'd probably dump my entire trading account into Bitcoin and then just trade against it to acquire more Bitcoin. I would be using my bank account to acquire a good amount. Still, want to keep cash because I got to pay rent and things, but I would definitely dump some more into Bitcoin and maybe, probably the strong ones, ADA. I already have a lot of speculative stuff that I'm just kind of sitting on, so I don't know if I'll do much with that, but I'll buy the big players, ADA, ETH, Bitcoin. Those are my favorites. Sand, Poly. Yeah. So it kind of sucks that we might go lower, but is what it is. All right, let's jump down to the weekly chart. As you can see, still flirting with the 200, potentially making a double bottom, which we continuously are always looking at this 200 moving average. The price it wants to be. It wants to be that price. It so badly wants to be it. Look how attracted it is to this price. So we'll see if we get another, we could technically still get another bump and then still come down, and it's still, as far as the monthly candles goes, could still play us down. The daily, of course, you guys know we got our bear flag breakdown, and then looks like bear pennant consolidation, potential breakdown. And this is where things got interesting today. Let me drop down to the shorter time frame here. Oh, you know what? It's funny. Every time I'm always hanging out on the 1 minute chart so much that I see a move and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is there going to be big news about this move? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Tim, it was on the 1 minute chart, dude. Like, zoom out. Like, nothing happened. You know what I mean? Ooh, look at this breakout happening right now. My long position is doing well. Okay, so we had this weird. Actually, what time was that at? I'm trying to remember. It kind of happened. Okay, so this right here actually happened. I was actually working. And guys, look how similar. This is kind of eerie, but like, look how similar that looks to this one. Right? That 200 coming through, and then boom, dump. Come over here. That 200 coming through, dump. Coming here, 200, mini dump. 200 again, dump. But it looks like we are still holding now if I zoom out here a little bit, you guys can kind of see things a little better. I'm going to move my face here. So again, I talked on the last time about how you could have drawn it two different ways. You could have drawn this pattern here, which we had fake out, fake out, fake out, right? So people are just getting wrecked left and right. If you're trading this pattern with this line, you're just like literally like, you probably don't know what to do with yourself anymore. You're probably like, it keeps going, and why is it not breaking out? And it's because I like to draw it like this. As soon as this one made a higher high, even though it came back in, I was like, I'm going to redraw. I'll also keep this one too, because I think it still will respect this one, especially on the shorter time frames. But to me, I always try to draw it out as far as possible, so I don't get. So this like didn't, for example, if I had drawn this line and I saw this big, I probably would have been like, oh my god, I probably like FOMO'd into a long. But again, because I had redrawn my line here, I was just thinking like, oh no, it's just respecting this other pattern that I've already had drawn up. So when I saw this move, I didn't really panic at all or do anything, because I was just like, oh well, I mean, like I said, until it breaks this wedge here, I don't care. I'm not interested. And so unfortunately, I wasn't by my computer. I might have tried to short that beautiful, because I'm sure there was a lot of volume on those candles, but I was away from my computer, so I just didn't do anything, because I was like, well, but I didn't think, I was like, I saw it go up, and people on Twitter like, oh, it's Bitcoin soaring over 20,000. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah, but we haven't broken my trend line. So like, who cares? And of course, look what happens. Boom, immediately dumped back down. And it kind of has respected this. So, oh baby, my trade's looking real good right now. Might have already won it, actually. Let's see if I won it already. Oh my gosh. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Okay. Trade's looking good. That's a little trade I lost here. I took this little short trade here because I saw kind of a little pump in volume here. And so it broke from the range, so I took a little short, but obviously I was about 15 bucks off from winning that little short. But this long position though is the one that I was more excited about. And look at this baby pump right now. Oh baby, I might have to maybe just trail a stop loss on this guy. We'll see. I'll have to monitor it. Anyway, so pretty happy about that trade working out. Anyway, let's jump back here. So this one dumped back in, and then we came almost down to our trend line here, which has been pretty strong support. So this is where, I'll just talk about my trade right now, since why not? So basically we dumped down. I'm on the 1 minute chart, so it looks a lot different. And again, huge volume increase right here. And one of the reasons actually I took this, because if you look at this volume spike on the candle that I used, it isn't actually a red candle right here, a red volume candle, but it was significant enough, along with sort of kind of see like the cloud here, right? The volume was rising. We got a significant volume candle. We were over sold here on the RSI and the stochastic. And most importantly, we were at, according to this chart, two strong resistance levels. We had I think actually it's just the same resistance level. I thought maybe I had a horizontal drawn. So I had a horizontal drawn here to show kind of just this range. Because I've noticed that when things consolidate, they basically do two things at the same time. They range and they pattern at the same time. So you could honestly say, oh, this is just a range. Look, we like 1, 2, 3, So you could just say it's a range. But then you could also say hey, it's a pattern too, because sometimes it'll dip outside of the ranges, creating the pattern. So I've kind of realized that you can kind of have both going at the same time. So I had a range line drawn and a pattern line. So I could kind of get both, right? And so we ended up hitting, I believe, let's pull this out a little bit. Yep. So we ended up, is that the wick right there? I'm pretty sure that's the wick. Why does it look so weird? No, that's the range thingy. Anyways, we came close. I could have sworn according to this chart, we were like touching it. Why is that touching it and then it's not touching on the longer one? I'm confused. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, it's because I redrew it a little bit. Okay. So that's so weird though. You guys are seeing that too, right? Where it's like it's on the 1 minute chart, it's showing it's touching that red line, but yet here it's like not, it like didn't get there. Oh no. Oh, it's just the wick looks so, okay. The wick looks confusing. Okay. There it is right here. I'm getting a new monitor soon, people. So I don't have to deal with this anymore. I was using my roommate's super nice gaming monitors. And I literally was just like, this is heaven. Oh my gosh. I can actually see the wicks like clearly. Like see how this one I like barely like missed the wick almost because it's so hard to see on the stupid TV screen. So working on getting a monitor to where I can actually see this. So anyway, we wicked down perfectly. And this was the most important thing for me was like, we're at a strong trend resistance and a range resistance, right? 2 resistances in one. We know we're going to get strong support here. This is fantastic. So on top of that, on the 1 minute chart, why is everything in my way today? Move out of the way thingy. Okay. And so again, I saw on the 1 minute, we had a nice volume spike right here. Boom, with just rising volume in general. So I drew a range. Again, we were overbought on those indicators. What happened to my stochastic? Yeah, I got a lot of chart stuff going on, guys. It gets a little crazy sometimes, not gonna lie. So anyway, I drew a range on this candle because we had a nice little volume spike on that candle specifically. We had the indicators. We have, most importantly, price action, which is strong trend and horizontal, which if you can get those combined is like money, dude. If you can get horizontal and trend combined, it's a freaking game changer. So we waited till the breakout. I went ahead and longed it. As you can see, that is doing pretty well so far. Ooh, trying to get a 2-to-1 here. So we'll see. We'll see if it makes it all the way up there. Ooh, a nice hit and some nice resistance there at the 200. Don't like to see that. Okay. Anyway, so again, is this a fake out again? Is this, again, I'm still looking at this longer wedge as my actual pattern. So I'm still kind of emotionless about this. I mean, it's nice to, obviously right now I'm probably going to look for, like I am, I'm looking for long positions because we just came down and touched the bottom here. So, I'm expecting that, we're going to at least make an attempt. I do think that this 200 could potentially, just like it took us out of the pattern here on the 1 hour, like eventually it kind of ran its course and then it took us down. This kind of could end up having the same thing here, depending on, now the 200 is starting to like flatten out a little bit, which is a good sign. And we still have a ways to go in this consolidation. So for me, I'm not real. We're just in the pattern. We're just consolidating and we're just hanging around this resistance line at around 20,000, and we're just kind of putzing around doing our thing. So I'm pretty much looking for long positions until it comes up and contacts this again or gets rejected from the 200 again, and then I'll be looking for short positions again. So yeah, no breakout for me yet or anything. I mean, I think this has already kind of been quite a bit invalidated with how many of these moves here. I mean, it's silly to even really have that drawn at this point. You can even maybe do a better one like that, because you got, at least you don't have so many fake outs. You got boom, 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 couple of fake outs there. So honestly, there isn't too much to report for the most part. We're just, we're just hanging out in our pattern still. So it's looking weak. I'm not going to lie. I do expect us to get pushed out by, in fact, one of the things I actually wanted to look at was, see if I can find it on here. Kind of a new, where's the EMA? I want to look at the EMA ribbon, because that'll kind of show us maybe when we're going to get pushed out. What? Come on. EMA ribbon. Where's, guys, where's the EMA? Come on, this can't be this hard, right? Here we go. Oh. All right, so here's the EMA ribbon. As you can see, let's go to a longer time frame. Let's go like 4 hour. So here we go. Kind of perfect, kind of exactly what we're saying, right? We flipped our EMA ribbon, came down, we were able to get actually up to the, almost all the way to the top line here, actually, with that one wick, right, before getting rejected down. Now we're, fighting with the EMA ribbon again, another wick to the very top one. So until we see this, give us a nice flip here, I mean, this could just continuously, push us out of the pattern here at some point. It's going to get, and I will say that this EMA ribbon does give more evidence to like this trend line, because, look how much resistance at this point, in order to get back here, it literally is going to have to break through all the ribbons just to get, and like you can see this one tried so hard to get through all the EMA ribbons and still couldn't reach the top, right? So you can see kind of like the weakness, right? We're not even able to reach the top anymore. So, the odds of this guy getting all the way through the EMA ribbons to the top again, pretty slim, unless that means that we're starting to flip more bullish off the EMA ribbons here. And as you can see, these 1 hour is not really showing us anything. It's flipping back and forth. So that isn't really giving us any indication. But the 4 hour one's giving us a little stronger indication. Yeah, so unfortunately, the bearish times are not done. The Fed is going to continue to do what they're going to do to raise interest rates and to kill the risk assets. Try to get, inflation's getting out of control in Europe right now, and their energy is going crazy with the bills and such. So hey, but now's a good time though. If you're an American and you want to travel to Europe, your dollar is going to go a lot farther than it used to, right? I mean, the exchange rate, it's almost, I think it's like takes like $1.01 of the euro to make $1. So you're actually, now's the time. If you want to travel to Europe, you might want to do it before they run out of energy, before, I mean, then again, their currency could crash, right? Because here's the scenario that could play out, right? So in Europe, right, they don't have enough energy because they've decided to shut off nuclear and any things that could actually really support them, right? So, they're going to run out of energy. People are going to panic, right? Social unrest, crazy absorbent bills, people trying to heat their homes to survive, right? When you push people to the brink like that, people retaliate, because at that point they have to survive. And so they will kind of turn to a little more like animals, rightfully so, right? Because you want to survive. I mean, it's like human nature. We want to survive. So, and it could happen to any of us. I mean, if we're put in that situation, like we'll fight to survive. So if the social unrest grows there, I mean, the government is going to say, hey, let me give you guys all some stimmy checks, right? Like, oh, it's tough times. Here's a $400 check, $500, $600, maybe $1,000. Boom. Here's some more euros so you can pay your electricity bills. And so short term, people are going to be like, yay, government, thank you so much for helping us out. Like, thank you so much. Like, oh my gosh, I love the government so much. You're so good, right? And then, a year or two from now, when now all that, money they printed is now in the supply, and now things are even worse than before, and food is double the price, and your salary has remained the same, and you're going to then, what are you going to do? You're going to then cry to the government and say, we can't afford to eat. Pay us more. And the government's going to be like, all right, let's print some more money. And then you're going to be like, yay, government, yay, haha. they're supporting us. And then the price doubles again. And then you're like, oh, and then pretty soon you're like literally, lined up in front of government buildings for them to like hand out food because they, you know what I mean? Like things are so inflated that you're fleeing the country. One of two things. So I get that's a little dramatic. It might not get there, or it might take a while, but eventually it's going to get there with the way that they're printing money. And then they have to print, because they don't have money. So sorry for being a little dramatic there, guys. At least in the U.S., we have a little bit longer before that happens. They're already struggling there in Europe. So good luck. Hopefully they make it through the winter. My prayers go out to them. The DXY, I did want to cover the DXY. So the DXY is in this nice upward channel, as you can see. And right now we are, kind of more in the mid-range of the channel. So there is definitely more upside to the DXY, which would be bearish for risk assets, as we know. And we're hanging out in this falling wedge pattern on the shorter time. We're on the daily chart here. So we could, could break out this to the downside, but at the same time, we do have the top of the channel. Now we do have a little bearish divergence forming here, higher high, lower low. So that is maybe showing some weakness there. As you can see, we had a bear div here play out that took us all the way down to the bottom of the channel. So it is kind of surprising to see this already happening before we even got to the top of the channel. Plus we have this bearish pattern, the falling wedge. Plus the dollar, the dollar has just been, it's probably one of its all-time highs, ever. Like this is a yearly chart, right? So, we're approaching, if we get up to 121, we're talking, this was 2001. Wow, January 2001 was the last time the dollar was pretty much this high. Wow, so we could, there's going to be some resistance up here in the 120s for sure on the dollar. But overall, it's looking pretty crazy. Ooh, and what is this right here? Is this a potential yearly bear div that could play out potentially? Potentially, if it gets, if it goes high, then it doesn't matter. But so the dollar is bound to run out eventually, and obviously, if this bear div plays out the same way that this one did, then we will see, a bit of a downswing. But overall, in fact, let's even take a look here at, if we did see a downturn from here, it could, perfectly come down to the 382, which would be perfectly in line with our channel, get support, and then continue onwards. Because as you can see, sometimes it doesn't always make it to the top of the channel before it comes down. So this could just be another one of circumstances where we didn't quite make it to the top of the channel. We come down, get a nice little retracement support from 382, nice little bounce, and then continue higher and higher. So yeah, it's going to be this way for a while, guys. I'm hopefully you're prepared for a long winter. So I just got a little signal here on US 30. See if I have some signals that kind of alert me when, maybe I should be checking something out. So, looks like we're getting a little smiley indicator on US 30. I may have to dive into that after this video. Yeah, so as you can see, guys, we are in a nice, on the shorter terms, we are having a nice bullish move here, nice little W pattern. Ooh, let's take a look at that. So this is the 15-minute chart. So if you're looking to trade that, got a nice little W pattern going here. Let's go to the top. Well, maybe up there to, hey, maybe we, hey, that'd actually be kind of a perfect, we hit our resistance here at about 20K. It makes a lower high, right? Because a lot of times you get these big dumps, it'll shoot right back up and get, it'll still make a lower high, but it'll get close, right? It'll get real close before the big dump, right? So this could be potentially come up, make a lower high, and then a bigger dump down, because those candles were looking pretty gnarly here on the, this candle right here, like I said, it's eerily similar to like that one. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. And to This one, kind of nearing the end of that pattern there. Oh my gosh, there is a giant cockroach on my wall. Wow. Holy crap. That is terrifying. But I'm going to finish this video. So, but again, we still have this support here, so this resistance here that might kind of bog us down a little bit. Maybe we'll even consolidate within this little smaller, right? It's patterns within patterns within patterns, guys. That's all you're looking at. There's a smaller pattern playing out on the 1 minute. You know, everything's a pattern within a pattern within a pattern. So we got this bigger pattern here, and then we have a pattern within the pattern, which could just be a little consolidation right in here before maybe breaking back up to continue this pattern, right? Patterns, 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 gotta love them. So I'm still in my long position, although I'm not gonna lie, after I opened my long position, I looked, I went, crap, because I realized that we still had this resistance, and I'm pretty sure my price target is over that, so I'm gonna have to hope for like a wick above, potentially, or it's just gonna be a really long trade where it's gonna like, which is crazy. Usually when you trade off the 1 minute time frame, it goes fast, but this trade could bounce around, bounce around, bounce around, and then I win the trade. So I'm going to have some guts of steel here to hold on. You guys know how, and that, perfect reminder. So I did win a trade overnight. However, I also didn't win the trade because I made a decision. I was in this trade. Let's see if I can pull it up here. It might even be see, I'm up $26 in this guy. It's looking good. So I was in a trade. Let's see if it shows up on here. I think it was, yeah, here we go. It was this one. And I wanted to go to bed. And I was afraid to hold the trade because I couldn't monitor it. And so I was like, but I can't monitor the trade and I want to sleep stress-free. So I did make the decision to just take profit where it was at. And and I was like, you know what? I'd rather just sleep peacefully, not worried about it, right? Kind of, I made a priority choice of choosing my sleep over that. So we ended up hitting my price target. So I'm just like, man, every time I get out of a trade early, I almost always win it. It's kind of disgusting. And I did this one because we had sort of a head and shoulders pattern that actually played out nicely, and we broke back into. Oh no, I know why I took this trade. I have better analysis than that, guys. It was this falling wedge right here. We had this falling wedge come up. We hit the top here. Oh, here's the trade. This is the trade right here. And then yeah, I took it like right in here. Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. There was a head and shoulders playing out on a larger time frame. There was something else I was looking at, I swear, that was making me feel pretty bearish. And then we came up, hit my price target. But again, I chose the peaceful sleep instead of the chance for overnight profits, which I got to stop doing. I got to just leave my freaking trades, because how often now am I losing trades because I just can't hold on to them. So I'm definitely holding on to this guy right here. In fact, we'll see. I might even set a limit order just to take like 75% profit here and kind of see if maybe it keeps going. But I'll take majority, 80, 90% profit right there. That's a nice 2-to-1 that if it gets there. It's got to get to 19,980. And where was my? I want to see how far it is on that 19,9. Oof. I don't like this. 980, right? That was my target. So that's got to come all the way. No. I don't have to go that high, right? No. Really? Oh crap. That's a little scary because it's got to get through this resistance line and it's got to get all the way up to the 200. Really? I guess so. Ambitious trade for sure. All right, guys, that is pretty much all I got for you. Pretty much today was just pretty much a consolidation day for the most part. I ended up just working most of the day because you could just look at things and you could just tell, like the US 30, for example, just in this, like, you could call it a bear flag, honestly, consolidation. NASDAQ was kind of doing the same thing, just kind of in this consolidation. So I was like, oh, I'll go work then, because Nothing's really going to happen. And then, of course, it's like 9 p.m. And that's when freaking this happens. And I'm like, wait, gosh dang it, dude. I figured people would just be chilling out on Labor Day. People would be going boating or I don't know, doing whatever they're doing. So I didn't think we'd see any big movements here on the charts. But obviously we had this guy that I was not able to take advantage of. But I'm obviously taking advantage of this guy right here. And honestly, with this W pattern playing out, I could actually, I am likely to win the trade here because 9980 is like not even at the top of that price target. So I'm looking good to win this trade, guys. Fingers crossed, obviously, Guys, that is pretty much all I got for you today. No real other thoughts today. Just a consolidation day in all the markets as we wait for the DXY to basically decide if it's going to continue its falling wedge. I mean, it's consolidating too, so everything else is kind of just doing the same thing. So we're just in a kind of a holding pattern until we see a nice move here from the DXY. And then we'll know what to do with our risk assets. US 30 as well, I think we are coming up to that strong resistance line here. So that'll be a kind of a decision there. If this is a bear flag, although it's looking pretty bullish right now. And the DXY is looking bearish. So maybe it breaks through this guy. Guys, that is all I have for you today on Kryptonite. Make sure to save your money, grow your money, buy some Bitcoin, because we all know that fiat currency is the meme coin, the ultimate meme coin, guys. It's worse than SHIB. At least SHIB, makes people happy, and is fun. Whereas the US dollar is just, we know that it's a debt-based currency now, and it's just going to continue to take more and more debt to maintain any value in the dollar. And eventually it's going to collapse like the house of cards that it is now. Fun fact, 1970, I don't know the exact year, in the 70s, when we first got off the gold standard, that was when Richard Nixon was the first. He was the first guy to be like, ooh, hey, since we're not backed by anything, why don't we just print a little bit of that extra dough to use for my campaign? What do you say? He was the first person to give in to the temptation of fiat currency, which is, hey, buddy, at the central bank, why don't you add a couple more zeros onto that line there for me, huh? Yeah. And it's all downhill from there. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one.